Hey everyone, you're watching Perfect Gardens with Mark Boutwell. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about cultivating your garden, but a little bit different than the garden that you're thinking of, probably the fruits and vegetables. I'm talking about actually cultivating your own family and your own seed in a sense that you planted many years ago and is still growing. My daughter loves to rock climb, and gym's closed because this whole coronavirus thing, as you can see, totally full of snow. We're packed in the house. So I decided to go out buy some 4x8 plywood, some rocks to rock climb, and I'm gonna build my daughter a rock wall. So today, that's why I'm inviting you to come see. And it's gonna be really simple. I bought over at Home Depot, they have 4x8 3/4 inch, not plywood, it's a little bit nicer stuff. They actually have stuff that's actually already sand down. So I bought that to just help simplify the process. I still needed some sanding paper. I needed the rocks, the 4x8 sheet of hardwood, a couple pieces of 2x4, and measuring tape, some screws, 2x8, which I'll show you that why using that later. I do quite a bit of work every day, whether it's business or video editing. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing. I find myself caught up in my mind and doing my best to be productive. And that's the thing about being an entrepreneur, right? You have to, on a daily basis, have a plan in mind the day before, get up and take action. A lot of times though, because I have Asperger's, I get incredibly focused on what I'm doing, and at times I could be working for 14, 15 hours straight and have the whole day just gone. And throughout the whole day, I will interact with the kids because my ears are always open, but I'm more just adjusting moments with the kids or different moments throughout the day to make the day a little bit more tolerable. And obviously, the kids are the highest priority, so if something arises that needs my immediate attention, I go in there, jump in, but then I get back to work. And over the years, especially having Sage, my little 2-year-old daughter, I have come to the realization that work is always going to be there. I realized a couple years ago that if I kept going at the rate I was going, I'd wake up at the age of 40 and I wouldn't have any kids. And I didn't want that. I realized that just like starting a business, I also had to kind of have that similar mindset to having kids. I had to be intentional. I had to know what my vision is, what my mission is, what I wanted to be in life. Do I just want to do a business? Do I want to make money? Or do I want a little bit more in life? Also, having a number of conversations with my father, he basically just let me know if I didn't become a father and experience that, in his viewpoint, it was one of the most selfish acts I could possibly do in life, is by not giving up a life of servitude in some level at some point in my life for someone else. It's really interesting because when I was in the military, I was so willing and gung-ho to have that day of honor or war or whatever you want to call it. But then after I get out of the military for a number of years, wasn't sure if I really wanted to have kids. And it was just really interesting in my mindset when it switched, when I realized I was so willing to have that life of servitude for someone I didn't know in this heroic moment where I could possibly lose my life or get injured and my life completely change. Although as I got older, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that more with children, right? On a long term, I was willing to do it in my life or be this heroic person, but was I willing to sign up to be a heroic person long term, day in and day out for my own children? And that was something that really shifted my mindset. It really made me realize, wow, in a sense, being in the military was a very superficial way of being heroic. But being heroic as you get older in life and you don't need war, you don't need that type of aggression in life, and you shift your mindset, you more look for peace. Well, what is that heroic act that you are doing on a daily basis? And for me, I realized, just like how my father said, by signing up and becoming a father, I would actually be able to operate by being a hero on a daily basis just because I'm willing to consciously sacrifice my life so that another person can have a better life. Also, that whole mindset just shifting of a transferring of knowledge and education was also a realization, like, what's the point of spending 30 years educating yourself when you're not taking the time to pass it on to someone else? Especially in business, you learn something that's secretive, you don't really want to share it to someone else because you think he's going to replace your job or offer it at a cheaper price. Well, when you have children, it's the exact opposite. You actually want to teach them everything you know, because every single time you teach them something, they become more reliable, hopefully more accountable and responsible with their actions, and more capable human beings. So coming to the realization, I realized I'm a workaholic, and also that I wanted to be a father. I had to learn how to incorporate both of those desires into my life and find balance. So this is one thing I'm decided to do today with this whole Corona thing happening and being at home, which I normally work from home anyways. I decided to get rid of the man cave, my day bed and my workspace where I'm working, because the kids are normally on the other side of the house, and sometimes they might be watching TV or doing some things that I think aren't as productive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert my room into a climbing room for my daughter, and it won't be that big a deal. It'll just be a climbing wall, but I'm going to convert everything. I'm going to be my bed where I sleep normally is going to be the crash pad. I'm just going to sleep there at night anyways, or in the middle of the day when I crash out because I'm working. And I'm going to create an environment for where my daughter is going to enjoy being around me a little bit more. And I know we're normally talking always about cultivating food or plants or products or those types of things, but it's also important to shift your mindset and realize that you're capable of cultivating many things. And if you want to be a better gardener and you want to grow plants better, then it's not just about applying yourself at gardening. It's about consciously doing it to the best of your ability on a daily basis. And doing it to the best of your ability is on you. It's not on anyone else. Like, no one in this whole world is ever going to be able to say, you didn't do your best. You only know if you did your best. And if you operate with that mindset on a daily basis, you will improve over time. You will get faster. You will become better. You'll become more intelligent. Those things will happen because every single day you're doing it to the best of your ability. And when you do that, it forces growth. At some point, you begin to understand things better and you do it more fluently. So that was the same thing for me. When I became a father a couple years ago, because I have two stepchildren as well, River and Starla, I felt very fake. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. And even when I had Sage, I was still fighting my old ego. And it wasn't until the last couple of years I started to realize, wow, I'm becoming more authentic on being a father and a parent, because I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. And so a lot of times in life, a lot of people will not want to give up certain things. They would have the nice bed, or they have, everything's comfortable. They have their space. For me, I love my kids, and I love work. All that stuff can just pile on each other, and it only makes it better. It's a big cuddle puddle, work, my kids, it's just like throw it all into the melting pot. I enjoy it. Rarely is it ever overwhelming, because my kids are pretty productive and I'm pretty good at guiding their energy. And whenever I need a small break from work, I just look to my kids, and then I can take a 15-minute break, get a small little workout in, and then while they're still playing and doing whatever they're doing, I can get back to work. And I spend a little bit more time with my kids on a daily basis. I'm not so absent out of their life. Even if I'm just working in the other room, a lot of times I end up being absent when it's just nice to be a little bit more around. And I know I'm around because I'm in the house, but I'm still not around at saturation time at times. And I don't feel guilty. I just try to become more thoughtful and figure out how to solve that problem. Less complaining, more problem solving.
Wait! What are you buying retail for? Become a member and go direct to the manufacturer as low as $50 a month. Learn more below.